Fam, what is going on? What is going on? I hope you all, Lord of mercy, you can't even start the show the normal way you do with the same energy given what happened today. Anyway, fam, please, please, please hit the like button. You know what to do. If you want to donate brown.com, patreon.com/ycarnell. But hit that like button, hit that bell. The 28, the half has never been told. We're gonna be having the book club, but we gotta talk about what happened in America today. We gotta just kind of jump right into that thing. This ain't no kind of thing you wait for, none of that stuff. We gotta jump right into it. Because I ain't never seen, although I expected it. Expecting something and seeing it as it happens are two very, 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 excuse me one moment, are two very different things. If I fall, y'all better not laugh at me. Anyway, let me just even though we all saw, I think we kind of saw what happened today. I think it looked a little bit like that. And so much has been exposed. Because let's just take a trip back for just 1 second. Remember when they told us that this was unpatriotic? Y'all remember that? They told us kneeling to protest something in a very non-violent way. They told us that was unpatriotic and we were not allowed to do it. How dare you disrespect football? How dare you disrespect sports? Somehow you're disrespecting the troops. But alas, we have arrived in a different place where these people are wreaking havoc. They took in, listen, it was a lawless mob. Call it what you want. This was a mob. This was an insurrection. This is what this was. Now, let's be honest about this thing. And let's be honest about what this means. Let's be honest about what this means for America. I'm gonna just keep putting stuff up because I just want everybody the guns were drawn. If you didn't get to see it, if you were at work, you haven't seen everything. I want you to understand the havoc. I want you to understand that this was an insurrection. And I don't think people, I read before I came over here that they said an IED was found somewhere. That's an explosive, people. That's what they were doing. But here's the thing that we all know as ADOS. These people have always been violent. And that violence has usually, not exclusively, been inflicted on us. Now, today we had something very different where America got front and center stage on this kind of thing. And let me tell you something. This is not just a condemnation of the people who showed up in their mob, with their military gear, with their camouflage, with their guns, with everything. This is not just a condemnation of them. No. This is not one thing. Yes, they're gangsters. Yes, they are mobsters. Yes, they are all of that stuff. But this is just not a condemnation of them. Listen, I said it earlier. These people came ready for war. Because they fetishize violence. They don't fetishize. These are not a peaceful people. They came in ninja outfits. They were scaling down walls and doing all kind of maddening things that they have been preparing for. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy because they have always fetishized and preferred violence to peace. It's never been about law and order. There was no law and order there today. There was only chaos and violence that was created by them. That's all that was there today. This is a condemnation of whiteness. Not just of the people of the overwhelmingly white people who were there. No. Look at this. Look at this. This is this is not just about them. And let me help you understand why. All of these people have these mobsters in their families. If you are not one of these people who showed up at the Capitol and broke open windows and threw around police like rag dolls, and the police didn't do nothing to them. Now we went around protesting racist violence and murders, and y'all beat us half to death, put our eyes out, all kind of stuff, but you had none of the smoke for them because that's your family and you know it. That is your family. Those people are the people you have Sunday dinner with, or Thanksgiving dinner with, or Christmas dinner with, and you have never condemned who they are as horrible people. And that's why we're here. You all are failures. And not only just white America, you are a failure if you have been made white. Because who we saw here, you see people in this group, in terms of white America, people who have been made white, and people who are desperate to become white. Like the little man with the awful haircut who was screaming, F Black Lives Matters, F Black Lives Matters. First of all, what is your hair doing? Second of all, you are so desperate to be these people and to be accepted into this top tier that you are shouting something. Because we all know Black Lives Matter isn't really about the organization when people shout on the street. It's about saying that lives of black people matter. And I don't know if y'all saw the little bowl-headed man. He had a little bowl-shaped head and haircut. He did it at the hotel. And that's fine, but you don't get to do that and then be, listen, there's something wrong with you. And it's something wrong with America. Listen, the clock has always been ticking. And America's had since 1619 to do right. To make up for the violence inflicted and the plunder inflicted on this group of people, and has never done it. It is a sick people who allow that to happen. I don't care what you are. If you have stood idly by and allowed that to happen and allowed violence to be inflicted on ADOS, right? You're sick too. This is not just about them. Showing up at the Capitol and destroying stuff and smashing stuff. Because of who you are and how you fetishize bullets and guns. You're sick. And America has never wanted to face. America and Americans have never wanted to face themselves or face what is wrong with America. Because that means if you face what is wrong with America, white America, and the people who've been accepted into whiteness, that means you have to look into that mirror because you're the problem. You're how we got here. This didn't just start with these people. That's not what's happening here. This is a lie. America is a lie. And today, what America has been forced to do, because it has been a lie about, we about freedom. No, you're not. There was no freedom out there, and you never made us free. The people you put in slaves or whatever, you've lived off of our blood, sweat, and tears. You never made us free. Don't tell me you into freedom. You into violence. And that's what we saw out there today. America faced itself today, and it was the truest America that I have ever seen. I've never seen a more honest representation of America. Understand that even during the Civil War, the Confederate flag did not make its way into the Capitol. It took today to do that. It took today for the Confederate flag to make its way into the Capitol with this traitorous scallywag alley cat person here. And all of America has allowed that to happen. Not us. Some of us, we don't want to fight. We'd rather talk and bump our guns. But white America, those of you who have been accepted into whiteness, you don't care what happened to us. You don't care what happens to anybody as long as you get to live the life of whiteness. You don't care that we built the house of whiteness. We put the bricks down, laid the foundation. You don't care. You never cared about the violence inflicted on us. But, today that stuff came right back to bite, didn't it? You saw it all on TV. And you say the same thing you say all the time. This is not our America. This is all America. We're better than this. No, you ain't. You ain't never been better than that. You're mediocre at best, and you always have been. You are absolutely mediocre. Trump is mediocre. Bush was mediocre. I absolutely, listen, you all, the mediocrity of whiteness is what we're seeing. And you put that Confederate flag in there for a reason. First of all, you're racist. But that's not just it. We have to understand that the South won the Civil War. I'm sorry. Is that news to everybody? Did the South won the Civil War? Because if it wasn't, they would have been paid reparations. Not saying that the North wasn't racist. We know it was. But there was a specific kind of war. And I can draw a line from what's happening today all the way back to the Civil War. You know why? Because you all were supposed to change the hierarchy. Please hear me when I say this. The hierarchy was supposed to be restructured where the traitors were ran off. I don't care where you put them. You could have put them on an island somewhere and shipped them off. I don't care where you sent them. They were supposed to go because they are traitors who took up arms against that country. They're supposed to go. Instead, what happened was something very different. Let me show you what happened. Instead, what happened is they were accepted back into the fold. Now, we didn't get our 40 acres and no mule. Andrew Johnson, all of them, they reneged on that. We didn't get made whole. We didn't get brought up on the totem pole because, see, if we were powerful as ADOS today and these people tried to come back, we'd be happy to stomp them down because of what they did to us. But you didn't give us the power to do that. You stripped it from us. You gave it back to the traitors, and the traitors are still here in the Capitol with a Confederate flag. And don't look at me like you don't know what's going on, white America. You know exactly what's going on. This is going on because of you and what you refuse to do and what you have allowed to happen. This is your business. This is your mess, and you won't clean it up. Go clean up the glass. Go clean up the country. Clean it all up. Black people, stay your butt at home. This ain't your business. This is family nonsense and mess. And violence and stuff like that, and we don't have no parts of. Don't be running out there. I saw somebody that said, well, just, you should come out there. Here's my cash app. I'm going to be out there and come out there with me. Don't you follow no fools out nowhere. Don't follow no fools nowhere. That ain't no general, or that ain't no captain. That ain't no nothing. That's a fool that tells you to come out somewhere where white people out there fighting with guns and dragging the police. If they dragging the police, what they going to do to you? And let me just bring this article up. I'm not going to get into it because we have already talked about this article. But this, you are seeing today a manifestation of what this article said back when. This article said what Southern dynasties post-Civil War researchers tell us about how wealth is really handed down. And it says emancipation should have laid waste to the Southern aristocracy. The economy was built on the forced labor of enslaved Africans, and almost half the Confederacy's wealth was invested in owning humans. Once people could no longer be treated as chattel, that wealth evaporated. But less than two decades after the Civil War, Southern slave-owning dynasties were back on top of the economic ladder, according to an ambitious new analysis by, you know who it is, out of Princeton and the University of California. Their research upends the conventional wisdom that slave owners struggled after they lost access to their wealth. Yes, some fell behind economically in the war's aftermath, but by 1880, the sons of slave owners were better off than the sons of nearby Southern whites who started with equal wealth but were not as invested in enslaved people. What is that telling you? Family, what is that telling you? What it's telling me is that you let him get away. Not only that, within a short amount of time, you let him get all his wealth back. You let his family do it. And guess what? You let them tell this lie. See, America, oh, you done created a monster. You let them tell this lie that, let me tell you what, that slavery was the war of northern aggression. And you let them have this lost cause narrative, and you didn't have any kind of hammer from the federal government saying you cannot teach this stuff. You didn't have any kind of hammer when the KKK was burning us up and lynching us. You left us to these people. You fed us to the wolves. North, let's talk about the North for a minute, not just the South. You fed us to these people. You said we done with that. We're not gonna deal with that no more. We're not gonna deal with how we done left all these ADOS people down here with these people. We gonna just go and do our own thing. Listen, there's a time for reaping and there's a time for sowing. You have sowed it for these people to be in here. You have created these monsters. You never dealt with them because they were your family. They were your people. You did business with them. But now you're going to have to deal with it. See, what you've tried to do, what you tried to do is you tried to deal with them very differently than you dealt with us. See, this is how when we try to protest and black lives and all this stuff and race and anti-racism stuff, when we try to go, you have all the armory for us. You don't have nothing for these people tearing up everything. You got no energy for that. Well, that's a problem. And that's going to continue to be a problem for this country. You're not going to get away no more. It's just, no, the chickens have decided they're coming back home to roost. And these are your chickens. These are not my chickens. No. Today was a day of great honesty for you to look at the thugs that you have created within your own ranks. To look at what you have encouraged in your own ranks. Trace the line in 1965, and if America falls, it'll fall because of this people. It won't fall because of nothing that we as ADOS or even black people in general have done. It will fall because of what you all have done and what you all have wrought. What did you think was going to happen? You all didn't mind. Let's talk about Capitol Hill and people who in government. You didn't mind stoking the flames of hatred. You didn't mind doing any of that. You didn't mind saying that, oh, you know, these black people and ADOS, we just cause problems. You didn't mind doing none of that stuff, did you? As long as it got you votes. But when it got your butt ran up out of Capitol Hill this morning, you might have a problem with it, huh? You didn't mind as long as they were voting for you. As long as they were showing out to vote and showing up to vote for you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Republicans. Y'all didn't mind. As long as these people show up to vote and show up to do what you want to do, you ain't have no problem with them. You were stoking the flame. Now, we were getting our butts whipped at home. We were already struggling. Welfare got cut. Everything got cut. And you didn't mind. You didn't care. You didn't care about us. Yes. They just don't work hard enough. Oh, you didn't care? Oh, but it came home today, didn't it? Oh, they ran you up out of there. Security had to run you up out of. You was looking scared and bewildered. Welcome to the club. How'd it feel? How'd it feel to get ran out of your capital by people wearing commando stuff and sheepskin? And listen, don't tell me nothing about how this wasn't no attempt at a coup. They was trying to count the stuff, the ballot stuffs. You know what I'm trying to say. What they did tonight. They were trying to do that and figure out who was going to be president. This was an attempt to disrupt all of that. And they ain't finished. It's a whole lot of stuff been going on in the news I don't even talk about. Like the Green Beret who shot them people. Then we don't know what happened on Christmas Day when the bomb went off. We don't know none of that stuff. You can't, and something is up. And America still don't want to deal with what it created. This ain't us, this you. All these Frankensteins and baby monsters that you got out here. Well, we finally gonna get rid of. We're gonna lock Donald Trump's account. You think? You think? Now's finally the time for that. Oh, the National Guard finally got mobilized after they done tore the whole thing up. It don't take y'all to get mobilized. It don't take no time to get nothing mobilized when it's Negroes taken to the street. As a matter of fact, this was predictable. Everybody knew it was going to happen. Everybody knew that they was going to come here on this day. Y'all didn't mobilize nothing. You know why? Because y'all the same. You didn't expect it to be this bad, did you? Because these are your sisters and brothers. And y'all talk about this stuff all the time at the kitchen table on Thanksgiving. Y'all agree to disagree. There are consequences to cowardice. Whether you know it or not, whether you realize it or not, that's not my problem. But there are consequences to what you do. There are consequences to not holding evil accountable generation after generation after generation. And you will bear those consequences, whether you like it or not. And one of those consequences is getting your butt ran up out of Capitol Hill. That's where you work. That's what you go to do every day. And they ran you out of there. Let me see if I can find some more pictures. They was barricading doors and doing all kind of wild stuff. Now, here it is. This is the one. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these wild mud alligators. What? In what world do you get to do that and then go home? They only arrested 13 people. How do you get to do something like that? You should be in jail for the next 30 years. Those were terroristic acts. Everybody who was at this thing and who engaged in this was engaged in unlawful activity. How do you get to go home? America will not face its own evil. Now you get to go home. But when we protest this, and for legitimate reasons, oppressed 400 years, we protest for legitimate reasons, and we get met with all kind of police equipment and rubber bullets and stuff we didn't even know existed. That's what we get faced with when we protest. Look at what y'all they tore up the whole Capitol, and only 13 people got arrested. Everybody at that protest, that wasn't no protest, that was mob violence. Everybody who was there at that insurrection should be a jail. Ain't enough jails in the DC metro area to hold all them people. There should be so many people locked up. But see, you know what's happened in America? You're gonna have to face your own evil. I'm sorry, that's just what is gonna happen. And because you haven't faced it, and you refuse. You absolutely refuse to hold it accountable. You refuse to grab the devil in your midst by the collar. You're going to keep living through it. They're going to keep coming. They ain't finished with y'all. They're not finished. They're not done. They're coming back. They got a bunch of stuff to do. These are undisciplined scallywags. These are undisciplined, wild people. Because you know how people get wild if you never discipline them. You never disciplined your traitors, America. You never got rid of them. So they won and they still winning. This is what it looks like when evil wins. You never got these people under control. This isn't just about Trump. And I need y'all to stop saying one thing to me. Dear news, dear Biden, dear everybody. Well, let me bring up Biden so I can show everybody what I need people to kind of stop saying to me. I don't know what everybody else needs, but there are some things I need for people to just stop saying to me because they don't make no sense. Because everybody says the same dumb stuff over and over and over again. I just don't, well, we're not like this. America ain't like this. And this is just, here we go with his Obama language. That's Obama's language. Let me be clear. Let me be very clear. Oh, I want to tell Obama to shut up too. But listen. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol today, that wasn't chaos. Chaos is like chaos is somebody set off a bunch of little things that scare everybody and people running out. This ain't chaos. This is insurrection. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not represent who we are. Now let me take this off the screen for just one moment. Because at some point, we're going to take this piece by piece. I don't even have to go back very far to figure out that this is exactly who America is. It ain't who we are. When we talk about ADOS, it's not who we are. But Biden, that's exactly who you are. That's exactly what America is. We would never have written to the 1994 crime bill. Even if we had been in power, we would never have done that to you just to win votes from. We wouldn't do that. You would. This is who you are. But I don't even got to go back that far. Do y'all remember in 2000? Y'all remember Roger Stone? That's Trump's guy right now. He's been everybody's guy. He's been Al Sharpton's guy. He's everybody's guy, right? If you're a crook who's in politics, he's your guy. What's up, Al? So, do y'all remember when it was Gore v. Gore v. Bush? Y'all remember that? And he came out and they were recounting the votes and they had all these little white guys come there and protest and say stop the vote, stop the steal, whatever. This the same stuff. Y'all don't ever play fair. It's always this bullying, thuggish behavior. And this is not new. Stop telling me, listen, if you always got to say to me, well, Yvette, this is not who we are. If you always got to get on TV and say, well, this is not who we are. I've heard this is not who we are. America is not who we are. I've heard that for the last 4 years. Listen, if you keep telling me that, maybe that's who you are. That's like me walking around every day. Somebody says, hey, Yvette, you're tall. I said, that's not who I am. That's not who I'm not tall. That's not who I am. At a certain point, maybe you just got to realize that you tall. If somebody just keep telling you that you stupid, maybe you a little slower, whatever. Like something, nobody keeps, this behavior is indicative of something. It's who you are, America. It's why we never got reparations. It's why we're tethered to the bottom, because this is exactly who you are, and you ain't never been no different. ADOS, we know exactly who you are. We're clear. But let's go back to this foolishness that Biden said. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not represent who we are. What we are seeing is a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness. This is not dissent, it's disorder. It borders on sedition, and it must end now. Now let's talk about language for a second. Be very careful when you talk about language. Be very careful. Be very careful when you talk about language, because Biden says something very interesting. He says this is not who we are. He says this borders on sedition. No, this is sedition, and they should be charged as such. What's wrong with y'all? Biden is the same person who wrote that crime bill, who had Negroes in jail for a little bit of nothing. He said, I want everybody locked up. I'm trying to hang everybody for everything except jaywalking. So you want to put everybody in jail for everything except jaywalking, but this is close to sedition. You should be calling for these. Hey, you the law and order man, right? 1994 crime bill. Call for these people to be locked up. This is sedition. Oh, I understand. No, you won't do it. But I know why you won't do it. Because there's a whole Ku Klux Klan that's going around with all y'all. And y'all all, well, this is just too much. This is whatever. This is too much. This borders on sedition. This is sedition. They went in there because today is the day. Today is the day for that count. You know what it is. You know why they there. You know why they plan to be there. See, law and order ain't never been. Law and order has always been just for a certain group. It's been to keep the heel or the boot on our necks. It ain't never meant for them. So they get to go home. Most of them people went home, and people say, "Well, I saw some little dumb conservative today. See, a white woman got shot. So that don't fit the Black Lives Matter narrative." It wasn't at a traffic stop. It wasn't in the house. It wasn't a Breonna Taylor situation where somebody stormed in guns blazing. She was part of an insurrection and she got shot. Bad things happen. I wish her all the best. I don't wish nothing bad on nobody. But if you're going to be part of some kind of insurrection, then that's bad things happen. What you mean? That doesn't mean systemic racist policing does not happen because that happened to her. She came in there as part of a mob. I would never come nowhere as part of a mob doing destruction. What kind of foolishness is this? I'm not going to have this conversation about this lady. I'm not going to have no conversation with Biden either. Well, what else did this old stupid thing say? See, y'all think that something's going to change with Biden. You just crazy. He's not going to do nothing. A small number. No, that was a lot of people. That was a lot. Do you know how many people that was? They overrun the Capitol Police. Not that the Capitol Police really tried. There were several occasions where they just let people come through. There were several occasions where the police didn't do their job. Well, I guess if you gonna push that hard, I guess I just won't push back. I don't want no problems. What? Oh my God, you got the Department of Defense, you got the Pentagon down the street, and they tore everything up because you let them do that. You let them make a mess. They probably peed on stuff in there. Somebody brought that up earlier there on Clubhouse, and I think it's true. They probably peed on something in there, done pooped on stuff. That's the problem, though. Y'all let white America poop the floor and do whatever they want to do. And those of you who don't agree with them, who are liberals or whatever, you let people in your family do what they need to do. You should excommunicate these people and say you have no place here. There is no America if we don't make a place for the South to lose the war. The South got to lose. Ain't no more one America. Obama told a lie because that's who he is. He's a liar. He's a narcissist. He just wanted to get in office. He wanted to sound good. He told a lie, though. There is no one America. There are at least two. There might be more. And there is no healing to be had. What has to happen is somebody got to win and somebody got to lose. And Obama has never believed in anything. So it's even hard to have the courage to stand by your beliefs if you don't have any. He don't have no beliefs. So how you going to stand by a belief that you don't have? Our leaders are cowards, all of them. Obama's just the worst of the worst. He just ran in the direction of his ambition. That's what he did. Right? He ran in the direction of his ambition. That's what he did. He wasn't never, Obama never want what's best for us. Obama never want to see us have what we need to have. He just aspires for greatness, even though he's not built for it. He don't have the stomach for it. He don't have the stomach to lead nobody nowhere. What are we even talking about? And you have Biden talking that stuff. Well, it was just a small number. Nah, fam. That's not a small number. No. That's not a small number of anything. Those are not a small number. Those are not patriots. Those are not good people. Those are people who came to the U.S. Capitol to have a hand in overturning an election. That's what they did. And you not going to do nothing about it but talk, Biden, because them your people too. And you want to run to the right and you want to win them back. And somehow we all are happy and pleased about that as black people in this country. And I don't understand it. A small number of extremists. Ain't nothing extreme about this. This is America. There's nothing extreme about what happened at the Capitol. This is America. I expected it to happen. How do you not? At some point, they reenacted the George Floyd killing. That's who they are. At some point, that's what they did. They did that as well. That's who they are. Monsters. That come into buildings and do things to promote violence and take selfies while they take over and smash windows, and they come in with bulletproof vests and nobody shot them. How many people do we have? Fam, do you all remember how many people we have who lost eyes and different things during the recent protests because of rubber bullets, not even regular bullets? I just retweeted on my page somebody who tweeted the violence that happened during the protest over police killings from Ahmaud Arbery to Breonna Taylor to George Floyd over the summer. Just brutalized we were. Nah, they went there to take selfies. Nothing happened. Most of them went home. They went to a bar, had a drink. We sure tore that stuff up. Oh, we had a ball tearing up the Capitol. That's whiteness. To get to go to tear up the Capitol, nobody charges you with nothing. You good. Nobody worries you about nothing. You just get to go and explore your wildest fantasies. Imagine, nobody does World War I reenactments or World War II. They do Civil War reenactments because they fetishize the Civil War and they know they want it. That's why they're doing it. These people are not right. And people don't want to use the word evil, but that's what it is. And America will not look in the mirror. American people, American whiteness will not look in the mirror. And so you have created this. You have said, well, we have a right to have a difference of opinion. We just agree to disagree. Well, this is what agree and disagree look like. Was you there, Pelosi? Was you there, Schumer, that y'all all get ran up out of there because you agree to disagree? All y'all, well, we're not going to do this. Yeah, you disagree with Trump. And then you disagree with Trump and all the wrong stuff. All this Ukraine stuff. Nah, this stuff right here is just wrong. Why don't you mandate people teach the right stuff in school so people don't grow up this dumb? This is morons. Why don't you mandate that? Evil goes unchecked in this country. People don't respect the rule of law. Don't y'all love the rule of law? Let me tell you what whiteness looks like. Let me just tell you what it looks like. You get to run off with a whole podium. You get to run off with a whole podium. Now understand. I want you to understand something, family. Look at this little redhead white man. He done ran off with a whole podium. Now understand something for me. Please understand something for me. Even when we have protests and riots in our neighborhood for legitimate reasons, if we steal something or take something from a store, because we don't have enough no way. So if the store is open, we're gonna go and take some paper towels. If the camera comes and try to point it at a Negro taking something out of a store, what happens? That happens. You know what kind of privilege you gotta have to smile for the camera after stealing something out of the U.S. Capitol. You know what whiteness has to bestow on you if you go steal something out of the Capitol and somebody take a picture of you and you wave and smile while you stealing. You know what that means? I know I'm not gonna get caught. I'm covered in whiteness. Ain't nobody gonna bother me. You take a picture as you are stealing something from the government. You are stealing the podium and you take a picture. Ooh, to be white in America. Look at this. Now, whose podium is this right here? Let's look at this for a second. Let's bring this up a little bit bigger. Oh, is that the seal of the speaker? Do you have Pelosi's podium? My goodness, they done went into your office and wreaked havoc. Not havoc, havoc. Went into your office and reached, and that is peak. That's peak whiteness right there. Let me tell you that. That is peak whiteness. I don't care what nobody tell you. That is peak whiteness. You done went in there and stole that lady's podium, and you waving at the cameras, and you having a good time like you on holiday, like you gone fishing somewhere. That's what whiteness bestows upon you. The privilege to do as you wish, as you please. And don't nobody say nothing. But let me tell you something. You're going to face it now. Everybody's about to face it now. It only gets worse from here. Don't get no better. Especially with Biden. I came here intending to talk about Warnock. I didn't know that these thugs was going to come and tear up the whole U.S. Capitol. I expected something. I actually expected the tear up to happen on Inauguration Day. Like I expected that day to be the day they tear up stuff. I didn't expect it to be this day. They came in earlier than I anticipated. You know, go back if you have a chance. Just go back, and I want you to go back and look at a couple things for me. I want you to go back and look at images from the marches with Dr. King, because we have a lot of footage from then. And I want you to see how our nonviolence was met with extreme violence. Dogs maiming us, bats, billy clubs, rocks, spit, punches to the face. And I want you to understand how our nonviolence was met with violence. And these people's violence for no reason was met with nothing but, hey, y'all come back next week. Hope you enjoyed your time in D.C. Countries can't continue to exist with that level of unfairness. That's not going to happen. Something else is going to happen. This country can't go on this way. And some people are realizing that way too late, that it can't go on this way. There was a historian that put up something I wanted to just read, and you can look it up. Let's see. But it says, in 1871, Attorney General Amos Ackerman insisted that the federal government prosecute members of the KKK. Nothing is more idle, he argued, than to attempt to conciliate by kindness that portion of the Southern people who are still malcontent. Ackerman was a Southerner and a Confederate veteran. He knew his fellow white Southerners well. If the terrorists who stormed the Capitol today are not arrested and prosecuted, they will be emboldened. They already been, and she's right, absolutely right, and they have already been emboldened. They have already been emboldened. Somebody said white privilege is violently storming the U.S. Capitol and just being sent home. Yeah, like you had a bad day at elementary school. But see, the thing that people don't, they broke cameras and stuff too. The thing that people don't understand is when you don't instill discipline, it's even like raising a citizen is like raising a child. If you don't instill discipline, you create a monster. They're going to be locked up, whatever. That's what you create. And that's what's happened here. These are monsters. And they've always been our monsters. We've always tried to tell people, like, hey, monsters are here in the South. And you know what? Like, in other places where we've been treated racist, monsters are here. Hey, it's a monster over here. And people are like, oh, no. You just whine too much. You just say too much. There's no monster over there. That's just, you just believe in reverse racism. Hey, you need to make us whole. This is not right. Da, da, da. No. Everything's fine. Yeah, well, see, the thing is now, the monster's kind of loose. Monster been loose for a long time. How Andrew Johnson doomed the Roanoke Island Freedmen's Colony, right? Go read that if you have a chance. This mediocre, extremely mediocre, alcoholic, white president doomed us to failure, and nobody made it right. Listen, America, you have just failed to look evil in the face for a long time, and you have been good, and you have looked forward to electing and elevating these mediocre white presidents. There's a cost to that. You decided not to have a meritocracy, and you decided to have a slaveocracy. There is a cost to what you did, and you are living through that cost now. This isn't who we are. This is who you've been ever since Andrew Johnson and before. What do you mean? He took the oath or whatever, you know. I think it was when Lincoln took the oath. He was drunk. And then he took back everything that we were trying to do. When Lincoln was assassinated, he became president. Go look it up. He's a mediocre thug of a white man. And I saw his spirit today in the U.S. Capitol. Because you never held your mediocre, racist people accountable. You've never done it. And so, they're coming home to roost. And my God, those chickens got feathers. They got feathers. They out there today. You have normalized their violence and their hatred and saying it's not what it is. But we know what it is because we live with it. Even before today, back in the day, we used to be the farmers. We used to be the maids. We used to be the nursemaids. We know what it is. We know what it is. We don't have any problem calling it out either. This is white mediocrity. These are mediocre people, mediocre, hateful people. And you got to call hate by its name, but y'all ain't never did that. So listen, hey, the 400 years is up, right? That's the number that we've been bondage 400 years. It's up. We at like 401 now. So yeah, it's going to pop off. That's what it is. And if you know, you know. But America, even as all this stuff happens, America don't want to deal with what America got to deal with. That's it. America doesn't want to deal with its own monsters because the monster is your mama, your daddy, or your grandmama, or your granddaddy, or whatever. Hey, there are consequences to that. Chickens come home to roost because of that. That's just what it is. That's not our fault. That's your fault. And you're gonna have to deal with it. So I want to stop right now a little bit early so I can give everybody a chance to come in, because I know a lot of people are gonna have comments about what we saw today, which is unprecedented. Somebody said that like a Confederate flag had never, and I think I mentioned it earlier, had never made its way into, even when the war was happening. We talking about the Civil War, never made its way into the Capitol until today. That should be a sign. That should be a signal for you of things to come. So give me a few minutes to set up the phones. I will come back and we will, as usual, have the conversation. are back. We are back. I'm going straight to the phones. I am going I'm going to 213. 213, what's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette. Yeah, my name is Kazim Abdullah. You said 213. It's, I'm actually calling you from Indianapolis. And yeah, I'm a long time caller, long time listener. I've been listening for. I've been listening since you started the series, and you're doing such good work. One thing I wanted to say, I wanted to say three thoughts, and I wrote this down before you even started the show.
Okay.
And the first thing was, I remember, yes, and I'm not his biggest fan, Roland Barthes, but he did say that this is the second Reconstruction, or this is the chance. And you even said once on one of your shows that now is the time.
Mm-hmm. I've always said.
You were so right about that. Now is the time. Like, I mean, if we don't get ourselves organized as a group somehow and make concrete action, now is the time, because there won't be a second chance, like you said before. You said that maybe 2 years ago on one of your programs, and I believe that now more than ever, now is the time, and like, we really have to try to move the ball. The other thing I just wanted to quickly say was, today, Lindsey Graham, even when all the various senators were speaking on the floor, he referred to the 1876 voting time during at the end of Reconstruction, when when they made the deals. I don't recall who. I think it was Hayes or someone like this.
Okay.
Made a deal to give up Reconstruction, and he referred to that on the Senate floor just about an hour ago.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was very interesting that this senator from the South would refer to that, because he compared what happened today to that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But, yes, and then, and then just the last thing I just wanted to say is that, I think it's very important that we make it so clear to Biden and Harris that if they don't present, if they don't present some sort of concrete reparations, that after all, and if they don't really get this done in this next 2 years, because they have the Senate now, they can try to push this through if they want to. We have to make it very, very clear. We have to stick to our guns, that they're out of there.
Yeah, I think I agree. And thank you, fam. I appreciate it. And that last part is key. Like, one of the things that we talk about in terms of having mechanisms of accountability. One of the things I talk about is you can't talk about accountability without having mechanisms of accountability. And one of the mechanisms of accountability is it's like, nah, you're going to lose. And well, you're going to get this Republican that you don't like. Okay, and I'll suffer the consequence to make sure I thrash you, to make sure that you understand. And that's what down ballot was about. That's what people say. Oh my God, y'all just want us to vote for the Democrats. No, if you weren't so moronic, you would know that we said on this show, listen, you have to vote for ballot measures and different things like that. There's a lot on the ballot to vote for and against. Only people, two brain cells and they both fighting, don't really understand that. So, we have to be engaged in the political process, but we have to make Democrats understand that, listen, we will make you lose. We will. And we won't do it just because we decide to sit home. We'll vote for other stuff. Like, we'll show up. And people will know that we showed up by how many people voted for the judge, how many people voted for against this tax hike. People will know that we came. We didn't show up for you. You see? So that's just what it is. So I'm going to my next call. I am going to I'm going to 224. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, what's going on? It's Justin.
Not too much.
Calling out of Philly. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
I'm calling because today was such a wonderful, wonderful day to see like how honest America is becoming. Not intentionally though. And that's one thing like I've grown to appreciate in the Trump administration is that how honest, he's the most honest representation of America. And we've been saying that for a long time.
Yep.
And what I'm thinking about, what I've been hearing in my personal conversations, people have been saying like, oh, I'm so glad that, Trump is out of office. You see this? This is really not a moment for that. If you don't come out this moment seeing white supremacy, white fragility, and basically just mediocrity and just elevate it and see how we can still pay the political price for this behavior, because they might go off and chase these people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we still end up chasing the Democrats like, hey, what about us? What about us? What about us? You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
This is not a moment to pat ourselves on the back and think that Biden somehow is going to make 2021 better, because Corona was 2020 and this just starting off with a civil war. So let's see how that goes.
You right, fam. You right. Starting off with a civil war. But let me just say, and that seems like what they're trying to instigate. It just seems like that to me, that they're trying to instigate that, and they've been on that path for a minute.
Yeah.
I even saw a conservative.
And I told you I've been in the military, but I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
They really do fetishize stuff like this, like bomb shelters and equipment and food for multiple years, and all the apocalyptic thinking. Like, this is a fantasy.
Mm-hmm. They want it. They want it. They want it. They crave it. They want it. Understand, they want it. Like, we don't want it. We just, even like black people, we'll be poor and we'll still not want a civil war, nothing like that. Well, let me live my best life. Let me go. They don't have all the money in the world to buy stuff. And what are you gonna buy? I'm gonna go buy a bunch of stuff to hurt people with, and some camouflage and some stuff under my eyes and a hat.
Bomb shelter.
Man, what?
Yeah. Well, that's really all I have. I know
Thank
a
you,
lot of
fam.
people want to talk, but for all of y'all that was, I'm so glad 2020 is over. 2021 got something for that.
Ooh, don't it? I told people, fam, I thank you, fam. I appreciate you for calling in. Because listen, I told people talking about 2020 and 2020 over. Child, who told you 2021 was better? This is an escalation. This is not, ain't nobody, no, this is not, who told you that? We done got a new variant of the pandemic disease, and we done got these people trying to pop off some Civil War stuff. It ain't looking better. Be prepared. Take care of yourself and your family, and don't put yourself in harm's way. Defend yourself. Be prepared for that. But do not put yourself in harm's way with these wild people. I wouldn't even go out tonight. I told people earlier, they don't go out tonight. Because these people are looking for somebody to do something with. You know how hateful they are. Don't do nothing if you ain't got to. Don't do nothing. Anyway, I'm going to my next call. I'm going to 818. 818, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette. This is Trisha calling from Los Angeles, specifically Silver Lake, Hollywood area.
Okay.
And I'm just really grateful to you to being on the air. I've been listening to you for quite some time. Okay. Unlike your previous guest, I probably could talk about 5 or 6 things that I want to get to, or haven't written them down. I think there's 3 points. What you just said is really profound. I just got off the phone with a documentarian friend of mine who is also ADOS, and he's lives here in Hollywood, but he's currently in Georgia, actually creating a documentary in regards to everything that's been going on in America. And he's in Georgia, he's in Atlanta specifically, and this is anecdotal, but just to tell you, you are correct, my dear. Don't go out tonight unless you have to, because he says it's palpable. There's a lot of people who've got hurt feelings right there where he's at, going to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. So just FYI to the people out there. But more to the point of what I kind of have been observing my whole life, really, as an ADOS, is that, I would like to say I feel like there is a disconnect with our community and movements, and also with power, because I hear what you speak of and what Tone speaks of, but I don't really hear about, okay, where's the coalition between ADOS professors, college professors around this nation? Why aren't we hearing their voices in mass against a lot of the disinformation and a lot of just the miseducation, period? And then also, where are our law firms that are really coming together? And where are Harvard guys? Where are the guys and women from Princeton who got those legal degrees that we're going to need? I mean, observing the Native American community going after the U.S. government, they went after the U.S. government with a litany of legal with a litany of of lawsuits and a legal team. So I think that we've got to, it's great that we're, coming together on this conscious level of community. I think we've done that a lot. And I think that that's why we're struggling, is because we keep trying these same old tactics. But at the end of the day, we're going to need, all men and women on deck here. And we're going to need our brightest and our smartest and in every field to really say
let me just say this. I agree. And I think I've seen a little bit of that. Not a lot, but I've seen a little bit of that, especially like interestingly enough, like on Clubhouse, in terms of some people who are professionals saying I want to be a part of this, right? But I think we have a lot of professionals who are still too invested in their individual life, and they think it's going to work out for me. And I think one of the things that COVID might do as this kind of drags on, because this vaccine is not going to be no miracle pill, even if it works. Right, and I'm not talking about whether it will or it won't. I'm not a scientist. I think people are going to learn, right? And I think all I want is enough, because I realize a lot of people are selfish and they don't want to put themselves on the line, which is a problem for us. I just need enough people. Just give me. Oh, I had deja vu. Just give me enough. Just give me enough. I can work with that. And I think we may be on the road to
isn't that what our professors are supposed to be doing at our
especially the tenured professors,
black colleges?
Well, what is the thing?
I don't understand. Where are they?
Well,
they're missing in math.
Well,
right now.
I've had 2 Howard University professors oppose me and just kind of go off the rails about how I'm wrong and it's Pan-Africanism or it's Brazilians or Afros too, or whatever the heck they be talking about. Like, instead of jumping on board, they kind of fetishize whatever kind of little hole they decide to work into. So I've seen that happen. I've seen, the thing is, I don't think professors are helpful to a movement, but they never lead a movement. And the thing is, because even in terms of a lot of the people that you have to have on the street, those are even like, I can and you can be a part of it, but you also need a lot of young people. They got all the energy. You got to get them and get them inspired and get them out there, right? Because professors rarely lead anything. They can provide the foundation for it, but they are rarely on. And I tried to explain this to people a while ago. They don't lead. Mm-hmm. They undergird. They don't lead.
Right. I mean, I would agree with you to a certain extent. I also think that it's, we're in a situation where it's on a, I'm of course on the West Coast, so I'm going to use this word. It's on a metaphysical level where you're having this concept of you can only attack this situation with the masses. I mean, Chomsky speaks of that. I don't think so. I think it has to be on every level. So I'm not just saying, okay, go to academia. I'm saying, just like any kind of propaganda machine from World War II and on, even mm-hmm. prior to that, but mm-hmm. really World War II is a perfect example, and going into, even the Russian propaganda machine and of course the Cambodian propaganda machine. Like, all of these machines are built strongly, I firmly believe, within the media, control of the media, of course, control of the military, and control of academia.
I understand.
So, not to say that professors are going to be the front line, but you're going to need, like I said, all hands on deck.
Well, I would replace all hands on deck with enough hands on deck, right? And the thing is, like I said about the Howard professors, that's one thing, but I recently spoke at Yale, and that's another thing, and that was a good conversation. So we just kind of reach out where we can reach out, and try to get people on board where we can get on board. But I definitely think that there is a space for more academics to get on board, and I wish they would. I appreciated, Dr. CARNELL'S speaking at the last conference and being supportive. But I agree with you that there are not nearly enough of them who have decided to come on board and even expend any of their social capital. Even when you start talking about saying, hey, say ADOS, then people get kind of shaky. I don't really want to risk my name or my political capital on that, and that becomes a problem too. So I think even when people put their hands on deck, when the deck get a little bit hot, they remove their fingers because they saw fingers. They don't want to get calluses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then that's how I think, to kind of borrow your analogy of monsters, that's how you continue to create the monsters. The irony here is that, the monster is playing all roles. So the monster's the monster, plus they're the citizens with the torches going after the monster. I mean, it's just so ridiculous at this point.
I agree, fam.
So,
I'm not getting argument out of me.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I want to thank you for calling in, but you got a point. I mean, I wish we had more hands on deck. I really wish we did. We don't, and we're gonna work with what we can work with. But yeah, it becomes problematic. I am going now to 301. 301. I'm going to you. 301. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, good evening, Sister Yvette. How are you? And
I'm doing well. How are you?
Belated New Year to you. This
You
is
as
Marshall
well.
from the DMV. How you
What's going on,
doing?
Marshall? I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
All right, doing all right. I just want to make a couple of quick points, and I'm gonna get off the line.
Okay.
You are, hitting on all cylinders tonight, but I want to bring something home to the people when it comes to all the visuals that we saw today with the Capitol. What these Yahoo fools did was breach one of the most secure buildings, if not even in the United States, in the entire world. And these fools made it look easy. And I wish you would have brought this up, but one of the most harrowing visuals from today was seeing this black ADOS, I'm not sure if he was ADOS, a black police officer hold off one of the, he held off like a part of the rioters that were coming in, and he's on his walkie-talkie screaming, second floor, and he's trying to like gather up support to like, hold off these rioters from coming into the Capitol. What you saw was a great example of black folks, once again, having to save what white folks messed up. And that really, that kind of shook me with all this stuff and just seeing, people scaling the walls of the Capitol. I don't think people who've never been to D.C. understand, how secure these government buildings are. Yeah. And how really, these Metro Police were just in cahoots. There's no way they couldn't have called for more relief or more
Absolutely
backup.
They could have. Absolutely
they
could have.
Just a total failure. And when it's like you saw the black police officer holding off these rioters coming in, but then later on you see, unfortunately, white Capitol Police officers taking selfies with them. And it was, forget irony, it was just failure. And I want to push back on something you said earlier in the broadcast. You said that these guys came there ready for war. They did come in ready for war, but they came there it was more to disrupt. They gave a pathway to a lot of people who are thinking about war. I mean, they detonated 2 packages in the Capitol today that they thought were bombs. And, of course, nothing went off. But when you see that, you're thinking, these people aren't serious. These guards, these police officers aren't serious.
Well, yeah, you testing the perimeter.
Protect their own ground.
Well, you testing the perimeter.
And it was just sad that they felt, to see those pictures, to see people smiling, carrying around Confederate flags and just not caring. They were so emboldened, and they knew there are people who have been protesting in D.C. under Black Lives Matter that are still in D.C. jail because they can't pay, the bail to get out. You're talking about people who were smiling at the camera, who felt as though if they got, in prison, that they were jailed, they go into jail, and this is where the wealth comes in. They felt as though, okay, I'll make a call, get somebody to pay my $5,000 fine, and get out of jail. Yeah. They didn't care. They just, and it was, it was just wrong. It was pathetic, but it showed what America is today. There was, the old, billboards from like the Depression when they said there's no place like America today. When there's minds there, who showed up? The dreads of society, who were emboldened to do it. And I think, as this is, deconstructed and so forth, people really have to think, what this says, how they were able to get through. And even if, they increase security or so forth, you can't, you have to basically go through retraining Capitol Police. You have to go through retraining. Like, look, this can never happen again. Heads are supposedly going to roll, but they may not. You know, so
Yeah, that's true.
it's sad. But I just wanted to call in
I
and just,
appreciate
you know,
it.
like, you know, get people to think a little bit deeper on it. You know, keep going, sis. Always let us
appreciate
speak to you, and
As
talk to you
always.
next time.
As always, fam, I appreciate it. And you're right. They showed that those perimeters were weak. And the image I just put up, I remember when this happened. When this woman who was having a mental health crisis, Miriam Carey, you know, broached the perimeter. I think it was the White House, and they put a bunch of bullets in her. And these people did it, and there was absolutely no consequence. I saw a video of a police officer helping one of the insurrectionist traders down the steps, like holding her hand. No, America, it can't exist this way. I don't. Anyway, let me go to my next caller. I am going now to 614. 614. I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette. Wow, your show is fire today. Woo,
Thank you, fam.
My name is Alfie. I'm 80OS Columbus. I want to say big ups to the fam in Columbus and all 50 states. I love y'all. Y'all so awesome. I agree with the one lady that said bonds, because when the South and the North was fighting, they promised them war bonds and they gave them land, but then they stole the land. But there's a paper, I was just looking at stuff my father had. It's from Richmond Times. You should check this out. It's from Richmond Times Dispatch. It was posted Sunday, December the 2nd, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about how they stole the land from these families. They stole the land. They never paid their bonds. And they got, I mean, it's like documents on top of documents. All people got to do is research their birth certificates and look at their family lineage. Because in Airfield, it's called the Estes family in Vero Beach, Florida. They stole their land and put an airfield on it.
Mm.
It's so much corruption they did. It's like crazy. And I mean, I've just been reading this stuff like, wow. All of us probably have a case. We just got to start talking to our family. And this is the thing. I hope all ADOS families stay home and stay out of this, because, see, this is reaping what you sow. You sat here and created a monster, just like you said. They created the monster. They've been sitting up here piling up on bombs, guns, and all kinds of stuff. We've been telling them they've been monsters, you know, this whole entire time, and they ignored it. So now they reaping what they sow, and they think they're going to put the genie back in the bottle, but it ain't coming. Because I really believe that Tennessee was just the beginning. When they blew that camper up full of bombs, that's going to be the beginning. Because they sat there and gave them all that money, and they thought they was going to just skate away with it like a fat rat. Now they got to fight each other because they mad over this money.
Not a fat rat.
They want to see who's going to be in control. That's all this is about. They don't care about us. That's why I be upset with my mom, because I'm like, man, you think Biden care about you? Your nephew been in jail for 20 years for something he didn't even do.
Woo.
Behind Biden.
Woo. You right about it. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you. I know, fam, it's buffering. The internet keeps going in and out for some strange reason today. But I know it's buffering and coming in and out. We're gonna try to stick with it though and see if it clears itself up, Lord. Anyway, so let me try to get to some more people really quickly. 216. I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Yvette?
What's going on with you?
All right, this is D Thought. I'll be quick here. Yvette, love the show, love the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I want to say something really quickly, Yvette, if you allow me to.
Okay.
To comment on a few callers before. The caller before talked about why academics, black academics in particular, are not pushing forward. And I just wanted to make sure that we're not lumping all professors and academics together, because I am a professor here in Cleveland, and I teach at a community college. I made a distinct choice to teach at a community college, and my students are ADOS.
Okay.
And they are ADOS from Alabama, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But I want that to be made clear that there are professors on the front. They have left the city, just hollowed it out. Everybody's in the suburbs and those things. So there are people, professors, that are fighting every day on the front line. And I choose to use my time working with my ADOS students, conscious raising and those things. I just want to say that really quickly, Yvette, that there are professors that support you and have your back. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate
Yvette, I was just wondering, can I just share my ADOS story and tie all this together? Everything that you talked about tonight.
If you can do it, if you can do it in one, I don't know.
The way and how we connect.
If you can do it in 1 minute, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it because the internet keeps buffering anyway.
Okay, then I'll just hold it. I just hold it. I just want to tell my story about.
I don't even know. You know, the funniest thing, fam. I have an entire time I have been on YouTube. I have trouble. It just. I can see when the internet goes in and out. It just keeps flicking in and out and in and out and in and out. And ain't nothing changed. So what's the difference? Why is this buffering happening today? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. It just keeps flickering. It'll flicker red or yellow if it's whatever. If it's low, if it's red, it's out. If it's green, this later, because I don't think YouTube is going to, or whoever. I'm not going to blame y'all. Maybe it's the interwebs and the buffering. So they're obviously not going to let us. We're not going to have this conversation. We're not going to finish having this conversation. Maybe we can finish this conversation at another time, because it seems to be that we're not going to finish this conversation tonight. That seems to be what it is with the internet tonight, that we're not going to be able to finish this conversation. Ain't that something? A very important conversation that they had. Somebody, I don't know who, was just, when the last time we ain't had this problem in a long time. Look at it, going yellow again. Why? Is everybody online tonight? Is there something going on around here I don't know about? What's going on? Anyway, is net neutrality afoot? Anyway, fam, I think I'm going to end this show only because it just keeps going out, and I can't figure out any reason why. Look at me staring at it like y'all can see it too, like we're looking at it together. There's no reason why that would happen. And I'll check everything out. Maybe we can finish this show another time. I'll try to take one more. Let me see if I can try to take one more caller and see if it messes up again. But if it does, I think we'll have to call it. So let me take one more call. Let's see what it do. I'm going now to 310. I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hello, hi, this is Tanya from LA, sister. Yeah, today was something else. Mm-hmm. And so things that people do need to understand, that we need to, when the sister's talking about what's going on with the professors and the professionals that are not helping, we have to understand about the boule, the fraternities, the sororities, the Eastern Stars, all this other stuff. There's a guy, Steve Coakley, back in the day. He used to talk about this extensively. We need to learn about who our opposition are, especially the opposition that looks like us. Okay? The opposition that looks like us. We need to understand what contemporary is. We need to read those. Like you talk about, you have your books for the reading club. We have one, Brian Glick. It's an easy book talking about contemporary, talking about what happened. We need to understand if we have ministers that came out of Islam and ministers that came out of Christianity, a guy, Malcolm X, coming out of the prison system, we're going to have pushback there. Yeah. They're going to be people doing dirt to us there. Gotcha. There's a such thing called kill them before they grow. Ooh. And we need to understand all of this. Yeah. This is the stuff that we need to understand. This is what we need to study. Sister, great job tonight.
Thank you.
Have like commercials before your podcast. Have commercials about what stuff that we need to learn. Because when you teach somebody, I'm a tutor. When you teach somebody, repetition is key. The stuff that you want people to learn,
make like a little commercial, and that'll be the thing that they see before your show comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep instilling certain thoughts and ideas that you want the people to catch on to. Do that all the time.
Thank you,
You're
fam.
beautiful. Keep going. God bless.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you chiming in on that. Thank you so much. Let me go to another call. Let me go to 5 seconds
Hello?
with 510. The internet's acting up. Hold on one moment for me. Let me see if it come back in. Thank you, 510. I appreciate you. Let me see if the people is the internet in for y'all? Oh, it's sticking. It's sticking. Oh, it's back. Go on 510. Yes, go on. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me, Yvette?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. The internet was acting up
hi,
again.
Yvette. I'm good.
Okay.
So I'm glad to be on the line with you.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here with, this is Esther, who is also a member of the Bay Area chapter.
Okay.
So yeah, we are just in shock about what was going on today. I didn't even know what was going on until I'm in a thread with my cousins that are boomers that were just going on and on about Trump this, Trump that. And then I actually saw the news at a client's house.
Mm.
And I think what I've been seeing all over social media, what I was feeling about it is, if these were black people, they would have just been mowed down with machine guns.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that just kind of blows me away, that people can no longer say, oh, I don't see color. You know, everybody's treated the same. Everybody's treated fairly, because this is just more of the same black and white two Americas we've been living through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm almost speechless. I'm almost speechless. And I also feel like this is also proof how, you know, I think Republicans thought they were going to vote Trump in and be able to treat him like a puppet, and then he went out of control and did his own thing. So it's no shock that his supporters are going out of control and kind of doing their own thing.
Mm.
I don't know. I just think it's just history repeating itself over and over and over.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I agree with what I heard earlier about people being so happy 2020 is over without even realizing 2021 might be worse.
Yeah, 2021 might be a beast.
So,
you might not be ready.
Right. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you,
I love your show. I appreciate what you're doing. I love being a lead member on ADOS Bay Area.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great.
And I want Esther to say something.
Yeah, and if you want to tell your ADOS story, please go to comingoutados.com.
All right, fam. I
Good
appreciate
night.
it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
You all
Good
have
night.
a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful night. I think we're gonna have to end it there, fam, because this thing keeps buffering. And it keeps going in and out. But I appreciate everybody to call in. This conversation is not over just because the internet wants to do what the internet wants to do. So please understand that, fam. But we're gonna have to end this right here because the internet just decides that. And what happens is when it does that is that you miss parts of what the people are saying on the other end of the line. So while it's buffering and then while the internet is out, they're still talking. And it's not a good experience. So I'll play with some stuff tomorrow. We'll see or whatever. But we're not done with this conversation. I apologize for the people who could not get through. It's just wildness with this thing. I don't know what's going to try to have a really good conversation, but it is what it is, fam. I want to thank everybody for calling in. We have to talk about this. Yes, okay, now it's in, but this just keeps going in and out. I was reading what somebody was saying, like y'all can see. So I want to, we're going to end a little bit early tonight, fam, because the internet is going to do what the internet's going to do. We still have to find the time to continue this conversation about everything that happened and what happened and why it happened. I really want to hear everything that everyone has to say. We might have to see it just went out again. It just went anyway. So maybe we'll schedule a part 2. Maybe we'll schedule a part 2 maybe sometime tomorrow. Let's talk about that. Okay. So thank you, fam. I appreciate it. And listen, 400 years up, fam. It is what it is. So everybody, please take care of yourself. Please don't be outside. If you don't need to be outside, if you ain't got nothing to do outside, please go shop for your groceries early. you know, if you can, country early. But please go shop for your groceries early, or do whatever you got to do before dark, because these people is wild and they're crazy and hateful. Okay. While you're there, before you leave, please hit that like button. Please share. If you want to donate, $ Breaking Brown or patreon.com/ycarnell. But it costs you nothing to hit that like or hit that bell or subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel. If you want to subscribe to my mailing list, that's also free. Subscribe to brown.com. Subscribe TOBrown.com. That is cost you nothing to just add your name to my mailing list. I would appreciate it. Fam, and until next time, until we can get this internet back up and acting right like it got some sense, be easy and take care of yourself, and these people crazy. All right? Night, fam.